Hey, thank you. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our NIE Postgraduate and CEE Fair. So, my name is Dr. Lee Yew Jin. So, I'm a member of the Natural Sciences and Science Education Department in NIE. I'll be sharing with you a little bit more about the educational doctorate um, and I'll be speaking from my experience in the science department for science education. It's difficult for me to know would the respondents be able to ask questions, or how would they do that? Do they have to type in, or do they have to
Mm,
unmute themselves? What's the
They can
system?
do both. They can unmute themselves and also put their questions in the
Okay,
chat.
okay. So maybe I'll just talk first. Okay, maybe I hope that everyone here, you have read a little bit more about the educational doctorate or the EdD. So the educational doctorate is something like the PhD, is equal in rigor, but the focus is quite different. For a PhD, um, the focus is on research, but for the EdD, the educational doctorate, is just as rigorous, just as demanding, and almost equivalent in time, but the EdD has a professional focus. So the EdD is suitable for people who are in industry, in teaching, in any form of training, human resources, these kinds of professions. As long as there's education, there's training, the EdD might be suitable for you. Of course, this extends to leadership roles, curriculum planning roles, policy and management roles. These are definitely something that you want to is suitable for people in these professions as well. The PhD, on the other hand, I would say is more suitable for people who think that they want to devote their time for to gain skills in research. So, as I mentioned, the PhD and the EdD, they are equivalent in rigor, difficulty, and time duration. But the PhD, the focus is on making new discoveries, finding out something new, testing theory, making a new product, digging deeper into the natural world as well as the human and social world to make new discoveries, theories, so on and so forth. As I mentioned, the EdD has a very professional focus. It will try to answer questions. How can things be changed in my workplace? How can I understand my work environment better? How can I enhance the teaching and learning, the training activities in my workplace better? How can myself be a better educator? The EDD, at least in my experience, we have accepted people from very, very different professions. Of course, they are teachers, but also people from the private sector, people in nursing, and even medical doctors as well. So you might ask, oh, how does nursing and being a clinician actually, what will the EDD benefit them? Actually, it does, because for a clinician, a physician, he or she might be in a position of in charge of continuing professional development, and he or she might want to improve the educational programs within her hospital, within her clinic. We have also had nurses who joined us, and these were actually nurse managers whose job was to be in charge of training. training for their wards, their departments. And of course, speaking about the EdD in general, we had people from all over, very, very different professions. We even had a person who was a priest who came for the EdD. So you ask how come a Catholic priest came? Well, he was also involved in education and training. So the skills that he learned, the skills that you will learn in the EdD is general enough to apply in your workplace. But because there is a thesis component, you will take a deeper dive. You will dig deeper into to scratch beyond the surface into the teaching and learning programs in your workplace. So yes, indeed, you will have eight courses, eight coursework, but there's also a thesis component which allows you to pick a program, pick something within your workplace that you think that you want to find out more, that you think that um, given the experience, given the coursework, can you actually try to improve something or solve an existing problem within your workplace? So the EDD is quite unique in the sense that it's very context bound. It's context bound to your work situation. So if you're in a certain sector, it might be addressing some issue within your work sector. For example, nursing, healthcare, for example. For the PhD, they are not so, their kind of research is more general. It would apply to many different situations. For example, if you're a scientist, you will find something which, of course, let's say a chemical reaction, and of course, the reaction is not bound whether you do it in Singapore or do it whether in any country in the world. The chemical reaction will still behave the same way as long as the conditions are the same. The EDD, on the other hand, is very sensitive to context. It can be as sensitive to your own workplace, your own organization, or your own work sector. So comparing, let's say, a business trainer, for example, business product development manager. So, she might just want to think about how can I be a better people developer in my organization. And honestly, after her time in the EDD, what she discovers will be relevant for her particular work organization. The next building, the next company, it's a totally different organization altogether, of course. And what she finds might not be applicable, even though it's just next door. So the EDD allows you to fine tune, to narrow down, to address an issue in a very, very specific manner. So these are some of the considerations that people who wish to take an EDD, these are some of the benefits. So you need to be quite sure what's the difference between the EDD and a PhD. Like I said, they are equal in rigor, equal in demand. I would, the only thing that for the EDD, there's a slightly more in terms of coursework. Okay. So, but other than that, in terms of its demand, we can take them to be equivalent. Because upon graduation, yeah, I mean, you're still given, it's still called a doctorate, whether it's for the PhD or the EDD. Both of them, as you know, whether you're full-time or part-time, PhD or EDD, the maximum is 5 years. So it might seem very long to you, but for the EDD, around 2.5 years will be devoted to your coursework, leaving about 2.5 years thereabouts for your thesis. Having said that, it might seem very compressed, but this is an advantage of the EDD in the sense that if you are quite certain of something that you want to dig further, it might not be a very accurate or accurate plan when you start, but it's a half-formed idea. And with this half-formed idea, for example, let's say if I was a business manager in my company and I wanted to um, if I'm in charge of training and development for my staff in HR, for example. So my as I'm working through all the courses, you can customize the flavor of the courses, the assignments that you do, the discussions that you undertake, the literature review that you do will be um, situated within, for example, HR development or within your work sector. What will happen, therefore, after you take all of these 6 courses, each of them can be fitted together for your final dissertation, meaning that all the coursework can accumulate towards your final dissertation. They are not taken in silos, but they will build upon each other. Of course, along the months, as you listen to the lectures, as you do assignments, as you think deeper, and as you reflect with your classmates, your focus might change. And that's to be expected because you are gaining a deeper understanding of the situation as well as yourself, as well as the theories that you are being exposed to. But all of these coursework can be put together and form part of your dissertation. So this is, I think, one of the strong points of the EDD in the sense that we see the coursework as cumulative. This is a big advantage. However, I also need to tell you that um, if you want to do the EDD, you should have at least about 4 years of work experience in your organization or in your work sector. One of the uh, issues that some people have is that sometimes they might change the job, and therefore the work sector change, and definitely your organization change. This sometimes might result in a situation where what you originally planned to research is no longer applicable by the simple fact that you have changed your job, and you might even have changed your work sector. So these are some of the issues that people doing the EDD might face. For a person in a PhD, because your research problem is more or less quite stable, these kinds of issues do not affect you as much. But the EDD has an advantage as well as a potential disadvantage, as I just described. So these are some of the issues that I thought that I wanted to share with you at this moment. Um, so 6 courses, 3 of them are core, and the 3 core ones, they're all on the website, will be the literature review, the quantitative methods course, and the qualitative methods course. This one, everybody in the EDD, in the whole of NIE will take. Because, and then I should say, there are specializations. And nearly every department in NIE offers specializations. For the specializations, you will take 2. So if you're interested in science education, we have at least about eight courses. Um, and when the courses are run, you can choose to take two of them. Not every term a course will be offered, but when you're offered, you just take two within your specialization. So I mentioned three core, two specializations, and finally there is one course on reading and writing, academic reading and writing. Or in lieu of that, if your supervisor feels that you're strong enough, you can do another open elective. You can choose another course from somewhere else. So 3 plus 2 plus 1 gives you a total of 6 courses. And then after that will be your dissertation. The dissertation um, will take about the total is 60,000 words. And yeah, so as I mentioned earlier on, so as you are even before you okay, when you apply for the EDD, you should have some half-formed sense of what area in which you want to research upon. So your proposal will contain um, your research questions, the tentative research methods, what will you do, who are your participants, of course, the research problem, and based on the soundness of this proposal, the review committee will just see whether it's workable or not. Now, of course, you will have to undergo an interview, and the interviewer will be me. Okay, yeah, but it's not just me. There'll be two other people, so there should be three of us. Okay. I was talking a lot, but let me just answer one question from one of you. You're free to unmute yourself and ask, and you're also free to just type. So let me just read out this question, and you can read it for yourself. Okay, so they're both rigorous. Okay, PhD unpacking. Okay, actually, universities do recognize PhDs and EDDs. They are equivalent. Some people think that, okay, so let me say this way. The PhD is indeed very research intensive. The EDD is also research focused, but from a professional perspective. Okay, so the EDD pays more attention to professional contexts. So they are both assessed rigorously because we need external reviewers. It's no less, it's just as demanding lah, to put it in that manner. So it is okay. So let me just say more straightforwardly. Uh, EDDs and PhDs are equally recognized. I have, I mean, I know of people who have EDDs and they actually are doing extremely good research. So it does not mean that because you're doing EDD, your skills, your proficiency, your confidence in research is diminished. Answer is no. It says that the EDD training was focused on the professions, but upon graduation, I've seen superb research coming up from people with EDDs. So yeah. The inequality in social status might be a perception, yeah, by people, but from a university's perspective, I don't think there's any differentiation at all. Yeah, yeah. Feel free to anyone. Yeah. Some countries might have a distinction. Yeah. But it's hard for me to know which countries make the distinction. So there's somebody I know, she's from EdD from the University of Southern California. Somebody I met, and she's doing excellent research. So I thought she had a PhD, but no, she had an EdD. And I mean, that's great. Yeah. I can pause here, and please, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. Yeah.
Hi, Prof.
Hi,
Can you
Tina.
tell me? Yeah. I'm sorry to say this truth, but I want to ask. So, this assessment from this, the how to become a professor, right? Just like all the professors, I never seen that who's right on his or her academic backgrounds. That is EdD. So I have a question on this, the qualification or this quality that I have to spend 5 years on the EdD, but I still, yeah, the professor, your or most prestigious, the professor, I admit that your achievements are very great to all the humans, but I think what we are focusing on the reality, right, in the PTD, and we want to unpack some of the questions, in the reality, it's equal or more important to the human beings. But we can't admit it into the university, and because I haven't seen a who of the the professional, right, the PTD title in front of his name, his or her name. That's my question.
Sure. What? Okay, so I think sometimes what you'll find is you'll find doctor or professor so and so, but sometimes you might need to check behind, and they will actually indicate PhD or EdD. That's what I'm trying to say. So you will see EdDs there sometimes as well. Yeah. But in front, they'll put doctor or professor so and so. But if you dig a little bit deeper, you might find EdD as well. Yeah. So at least for Singapore, I don't think they discriminate between an
It sounds
EdD
like.
or PhD. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah.
Thank you.
So the front part is hidden, but you have to look behind the CVs to see whether they have an EdD. Yeah. So that will be the clue. Okay, are there any other questions from participants here? I'll be happy. Yeah, feel free to ask. I mean, yeah. So I think if you're more interested in the research, the PhD is suitable for you. If you are more interested in research, but with a professional perspective, then the EdD is better for you. Yeah. If you're not sure, feel free to talk to anyone, and then we can help you make a better decision. Yeah.
Professor, may I ask again?
Please,
Sorry.
please.
Yes. Okay, so you have said that PDD and EHD are also very rigorous in academics, right? So you just have mentioned that EDD maybe not focus on the research or professional. I just detect this word. So I want to ask what kind of questions or what kind of the academics you research are different between these two titles?
Okay, so that's a really good question. Let me think for a while. So, for example, if I'm doing research in business, so I might want to find to make my human resource theory. So I will study whether people feel more satisfied with higher salaries and to what extent a high salary make people satisfied. So I will survey employees, I will interview employees, and then I will try to form a theory or to improve an existing theory. So this will be for PhD. So at the end of the day, I will have a better theory of how satisfied people are with their income or with their salary. For EdD, I might be interested in asking what do people feel um, when they about their salaries, for example. How can people be motivated to learn um, in my organization, for example? So for the PhD, I am trying to improve or make a new theory to understand people's satisfaction with their salary, for example. And this theory will apply everywhere around the world. For the EdD, because it's very professional focus, I also am trying to find out how people feel about rewards and salary. But my findings are only applicable to, for example, my organization or the few companies that I examine. It does not apply to everywhere around the world. So the EdD is very small focused in a way, because it's just trying to solve a local problem. Whereas for the PhD, generally, I'm interested in finding a general theory that will apply everywhere around. So this is basically the distinction between PhD, very, you try to find a new model, a new theory, a new product, whereas for the EDD, is more narrow in focus. Yeah. I just want to understand my situation better. So same question, but different scope, different focus. Yeah, roughly is like that. Well, I mean, but that's a really good question. So even for faculty, sometimes we are not so clear. Yeah, but it's roughly like that. Okay, so somebody asked another question. So this person is already a lecturer and is 90. You're asking whether should you do a PhD or EDD. So actually, for many people, um, okay, so for quite a number of, it depends on your preference. So if you think that, for example, I want to find out about a certain theory. I want to find out about student motivation. I want to make an instrument or to find out about student motivation. Therefore, because the findings will be general to everywhere, not just my town, not just my city, not just my country, but everywhere around the world. Maybe a PhD might be useful if you're interested in finding a general theory, a general model. But if you're interested in, for example, I want to improve the teaching and learning in my school. What must my school do in order to be to have better teaching, to be more engaging and more interesting to learners? Therefore, the EDD might be more suitable. Of course, you can approach it either way, but it's just there will be a difference in focus, a difference in emphasis. EDD will be more problem solving, trying to have a deeper understanding, but in a very narrow focus. My workplace, my work sector. For the PhD, in the sense that, oh, I want to find out a general idea. So that's applicable all around the world. The context doesn't matter. But for the EDD, the context matters a great deal. It is my school, my organization, my company, my hospital, my ward, so on and so forth. So, yeah, sometimes it's a very difficult question to ask, but feel free to continue talking. Before you apply for the EDD, you should already start talking with the faculty. So if you're interested in, for example, in scientific practices, you should begin talking to somebody in NSSE, NIE, who are already working in this area. So try to have an early conversation because the application is due quite soon. No, it's in July. Is it the application 1 week only, right? Can't remember which day it was.
Applications for EdD will end on 11 June.
11 June. Well, not even July. 11 June. Okay.
Yes.
So that means
Because we
from
started
now,
in April, yeah.
correct. So that means they should be already talking to the people, right? The
Yeah.
potential supervisors lah.
Yes.
Yeah. 11 June. Yeah, that's quite soon. Yeah. So if you're interested, please start talking so that I'm still on Isnini's question. So once you start talking, then you will have a clearer sense of whether the EDD or PhD is more suitable. No, just one more question. How about the PhD application closing date?
PhD will close on 25th of June.
Yeah, just about not about not very long after lah, right? Not very long after. Thanks so much. Yeah, thanks, Sharon. Okay, so what's the difference between EDD and masters by coursework? So, of course, a master's level is the first level in which a postgraduate or I mean, okay, so after your um, bachelor's, the next level will be the master's level. And for the master's, you can choose for master's by coursework or master's by research. We don't have so much masters by research because in my department, we have it by coursework. So this will be the Masters of Education and by coursework, and this will be the recommended area for you to work on. Okay. So Tina, may I just ask, is this a statement or is this something that public servants ought to have, at least in your country?
I think in Singapore, because I've added many, the minister, their backgrounds are all from, the top 10, just from US or the UK. Yes. Some of the top, the Harvard or Oxford, Cambridge, I have to very, very grounded research on their backgrounds. So I just want to. So if I want to, contribute to the reality, I have to have a recognized, the social status, or no one will listen to me, right? If I'm working in educational or the private, the sectors, who will listen to me, right? So I just want to figure out which path I'm going to do. Right. No matter what I'm in the university or I'm in the public sectors, rather than in focusing on my own business, right? Then I can have an influence on the whole fields, not to let others listen to me, but they can hear my voice and I can be recognized.
Sure. I think, I mean, the reason why we do a higher degree is because firstly, we are curious, we want to find out more about something. And most of us, uh, we're interested, we are passionate, we are very interested in a certain area of education, for example. Um, and after doing it, we feel very fulfilled, very satisfied, and and that's what a master should do, lah. You feel satisfied. Same thing with the PhD and EdD. Um, whether it will help you in your career, I'm sure it does. Yeah, but don't forget that the reason why we are doing a higher degree is because you're doing something that you love and are willing to do. Yeah. But I think nobody can guarantee you that, my career will fly and take off. Um, yeah, this is just, it just depends on circumstances. But I just need to remind everybody that the reason why we are doing a higher degree is because of our passion. And it's something that we want to do. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, it can help your degree, your career. But this one again, it really depends on the situation. Yeah. Are there any other questions? I'll be happy to answer. Yeah. Or just say it out. You don't have to type. So myself, I did a master's first, and then I did a PhD much later. Yeah, because I thought that, okay, so when I graduated from university, I was so happy because I don't like studying. Okay. Then after that, I don't know why somebody convinced me to do a master's, and I did a master's. And I was so happy that I thought I wouldn't have to study anymore. And then I still did a PhD. Okay. So who knows? Um, some of you might be, I think at the back of your minds, you might be asking about the tuition fees. I will just want to say that please check the NIE website. They will give you all the information about the tuition fees. The tuition fees for the EdD are costly, so just please take that into mind and look very carefully at all the information is stated there. Yeah, it is quite a high sacrifice to make. Whether it's PhD, EdD, or master's, there is some cost commitment that you have to make. Again, I said that earlier. I would advise if you are thinking of the EdD, you should be fairly stable in your job, minimum of 4 years, I think. Yeah. The reason is because the EDD is very closely tied to your work. So the more experienced you are in your workplace, the better you are to understand what is important and what's not so important. And it just places you in a better position. For the PhD, there's whether you want to begin one day after your master's, it doesn't matter. But for the EDD, I would say you need some work experience first. Yeah, so that's what I would say. Yeah. Oh yes. Well, whoever D is, please do. So from now until early June, please start writing to people, call them or write them is the easiest. And then just discuss together about whether EDD is suitable or even a PhD is suitable or whether a master's is suitable. Yeah. Uh, no, and Sharon, it's not possible for honors degree to jump to EDD, right? You need a master's, right?
Yes, yes. I think even for EdD, they need to have both a bachelor degree and a master's.
Yeah. PhD also, can they bypass? No, usually no, right?
Unless it's first class honors,
Exceptional.
yes, very exceptional cases, then it's on case by
Correct.
case basis.
Yeah. So the recommendations are, and I'd say that is a good recommendation, is that whether it's PhD or EDD, it's better to do the master's first. Yeah. Okay. Um, so for all cases, I think um, if one was not successful earlier, perhaps after the different year, with the increase in years, the work experience might help in the application. So, if you think that it's something which you are still very passionate about and want to commit yourself, um, you just put in the application and see how. Sharon, do you know what's the cost for the application? It's $100, is it?
The cost, okay, let me have a look.
Yeah, there is a cost. I think I saw $100, which
Mm.
is quite a lot.
Yes, yes, correct. For PhD and Masters by Research, application fee is $50. For EdD, it's $500.
Okay, I don't know why, but okay. Yeah, but just start talking. Maybe I can advise anyone to just start talking with people first. That's the easiest. The talking is just a preliminary. There's no cost involved. It's just finding out whether there's alignment in interest. That's all. It costs you nothing. Um, okay, so I guess yeah. So if you have any other questions, I think how can they contact? What would you suggest to them? To write to me or to write to NIE GPL?
Uh,
What do you suggest?
they can write to us and then we can redirect the questions to you because I think our email
Okay.
address is easier to remember. It's
Okay, maybe I think
nie.gpl@nie.edu.sg.
no, I better type down.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
I typed it already inside the
Okay,
chat
great.
box.
Great. Oh, fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think that's the best. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so actually, I mean, that's roughly, I think I wanted to share. All the information is available on the website. If you have any further questions, please write to niegpl at blah blah blah. And but yeah, okay. So I'm going to stay for a while. But if you have any questions, just free to discuss with me. But if not, then I advise you just start talking and start checking out the information on the website. Yeah, so that would be the best. It's a big decision, so please talk to your family members as well. Honestly speaking, yeah, you have to talk to your family members because it's a commitment in terms of your time and resources. A huge, huge commitment. It's more than 5 years of, yeah, there's a preparation time, thinking time. Okay, so it's a big commitment. So do discuss this with your family as well. Yeah, it's a life-changing decision, if I can say so. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So hope to see some emails. But thanks everybody. Yeah, just write to us if you have any questions. Okay, thank you.